Good morning. I'd like to thank you all or good evening, wherever this finds you. I'm coming in from Kalispell, Montana. And so I've invited you here to allow me to share the foundations of what 4 upcoming classes that we're going to be teaching here in Montana, the importance of them and what they entail. And then we'll leave it open for some questions as well.
大家早上好，晚上好，取决于你在哪儿。我呢，现在在 Kalispell, Montana。今天呢，很荣幸啊，我们来分享关于几门我们要在蒙大拿开授的课，这些课的重要性啊，它们都包含了哪些内容，以及呢，最后会可以有提问的环节。
I'll give you a little bit of background about myself. I fell in love with theta healing in August of 2006.
给大家一些我自己的背景，我呢在2006年的8月爱上了希塔疗愈。
When I was 8 years old, I had an angel come to me and tell me that 2 things: so that I was here to work with the DNA and that I would be a teacher to the masses. And so when I found healing at a Body, Mind, Spirit Expo, the woman that was doing an introduction, as soon as I saw her, before I even knew what she was doing, I was like, that lady's my teacher. And then I sat in on her little demo and was like, I'm in. This is what I've been waiting for.
在我8岁的时候呢，就有一位天使告诉过我，我今生来呢有2个使命。第一件事情呢是要跟 DNA 去合作做一些工作的，另外一件事情呢就是我要教很多的大师。后来呢，当我第一次遇到这个希塔疗愈的一个分享会的时候，第一眼见到了那位女士，我就立刻知道这就是我的老师，我一直就在等这个机会。
When I took my basic class, I was an elementary school teacher. But 3 months out of it, I had a full evening practice, working like 5 p.m. to like sometimes 1, 2 in the morning. No
那么
business cards for like a year and a half. It was all by word of mouth, and Creator brought me to people. It was like 5 to 7 days a week like that.
当我刚学完西塔疗愈基础 DNA 的时候呢，我还是一个小学教师。那么3个月之后呢，我就开始了每天晚上的西塔疗愈，做疗愈师的工作。有的时候是晚上下午的5点，一直到凌晨的1、2点钟，没有任何的这个商业或者名片的宣传，大概1年半的时间，而是源头把这些人带到了我的身边。
And then right after that, I got invited to speak at conferences or expos in Missouri, and then Ohio, Indiana, Michigan. And I'm from Chicago originally. And so I was already doing that there.
那么没有多久呢，我就被邀请到了很多的大会去做分享，包括密苏里啊、俄亥俄州啊，还有一些其他的州。那么我本身呢在芝加哥的附近，所以当然也是在这个地区。
So after I've done over hundreds of thousands of sessions with people, I'm still a practitioner as well as an instructor. And I love theta healing. I love what it does. I've seen the miracles day after day after day. And I'm just excited to share more about some of the classes with you now.
做着上百个、上千个个案之后呢，我现在当然也是导师，我也见证了如此多的奇迹。那么今天也很兴奋、很开心的跟大家来分享一些其他的课程。
So the first one we're going to talk about is called Game of Life. And Game of Life is one of the 3 classes that Theta Healing offers. That's all that the foundation is about, manifesting in abundance. But Game of Life really puts you in the driver's seat and more aligned with your creator self.
那么第一门我们来介绍的呢，就是 Game of Life，我们翻译成生活赢家或者玩转地球。这门课呢是希塔疗愈当中关于丰盛和显化的3门课的之一。这门课最大的特点呢，在于它把你放在了一个驾驶员的位置，真正的去作为创造者的这样一个身份。
One of the exciting things that made me originally want to take a Game of Life is because I knew what it did for both the creator of Game of Life, but also for Vienna and Guy and other people that had taken it, like friends of mine in Japan, because they increased exponentially like 2 to 3 times amplified or more than what they were already bringing in their lives.
那么关于这门课呢，当时让我觉得很兴奋，想要去学这门课的一个最大的原因呢，是我看到了这门课带给这门课的创作者以及维亚娜和盖伊的变化，以及呢有一些在日本的朋友，他们学了这门课之后产生的变化是指数型的增长的，超过他们之前的2倍到3倍的。
And so one of the key things about the structure of the course itself is that it has us to take a look at overcoming parents, like influences of parents, drama, society, and then peers. And once you are free from those energetics, which we call the passenger, you're still a passenger. And usually as theta healers, some people don't really get beyond those until some of the higher classes, because there is a lot that each person needs to overcome from their own lifetime and of course genetics. I'll let you do that part first.
那么在这门课当中呢，我们会克服来自于父母、社会，还有呢你的伙伴们、同伴们他们的影响，从而呢真正的从这些影响当中解脱出来，自由。在这个过程之后呢，就解除了这个作为乘客的这样的角色。那么大多数的人可能要学到希塔疗愈后面非常高级的课之后，才会慢慢的从这个乘客的角色当中解脱出，因为呢来自这些遗传层啊等等的影响。
So the passenger dynamic is very much related to still having ego in charge versus our true self. And so the passenger is when we are overly personally identified with like Stacy Rush versus the creator true self. Game of Life helps you put where it's not Stacy Rush and creator self. It's creator self. Like you align in it, and then at that point, it's the driver. The ego becomes the amigo and takes the backseat and allows the true divine, more prophetic channel self to step in and be the lead and guide.
一开始还是乘客的原因呢，是因为我们的 ego 小我呢还在做掌控，而不是我们真正的这个自我进来。这门课之后呢，我们之前所自我认定的那个自己呢，就会跟我们真正的作为创造者的这个自己去融合，真正的让作为创造者的这个自己呢来做司机，小我就变成了一个朋友，而你会允许神圣的这个自我真正的进来主导。
And so in order to really the next piece of that, once we shift it to for the ego to be in the back seat and to be the driver in our lives, we work with the foundations of abundance, true power, obviously true abundance, true power, and then vision.
在这个小我坐到后座去之后，我们自己真正的做司机之后呢，然后呢我们会来讲解关于丰盛的基础，掌握真正的力量眼界。
So there's the class is set up in certain stages, and so there's 7 different stages that we work through in Game of Life.
那么这门课当中呢，会设定不同的阶段，一共有7个。
And one of my most favorite activities in the class is where you do your current states, like in this particular setup, and then you, on the outside of that, you look at where you want it to be. And by just doing this format, it kind of does something with the construct of manifestation itself, that it's just, everyone's always like shocked at how quick these shifts and changes in all areas and aspects of their life happen.
其中一个我最喜欢的练习之一呢，就是在一个场景之下去找到现在你的阶段，再从外面来看看你希望它会变成怎么样，在这个丰盛的结构之下。那么这是一个让很多人都非常震惊的一个练习，并且呢通过这个练习他们会看到非常显著的变化。
And then it really helps us break through ceilings, or what were like, we call them ceilings in Game of Life, which were unknown limitations that you've set for yourself or that were in place based on programmings that get released in the class.
那这之后你就会突破你的天花板，也就是那些我们自己也不知道自己给自己设置的限制，在生活赢家这门课之后呢，你就能够突破这些天花板。
And so I think the value is, people always ask, what's the difference between Game of Life and manifesting in abundance? And so manifesting abundance is good because that's mostly like genetic and history, the foundational dynamics that keep people limited in their ability to manifest. Game of Life, it's like takes it up another 10 notches, or it's like a whole nother level of like, now you're ready for a whole new level of manifesting.
那么很多人经常会问我，生活赢家和希塔疗愈当中的丰盛显化课有什么样的区别呢？丰盛显化课呢非常的好，因为呢它会涵盖很多非常基础的关于遗传层和历史层的我们的一些限制。生活赢家呢会完全把你带到另外一个层次去。
There's another class called Health Consciousness that is another manifesting class, which is also amazing. But this class also, the structure of it and the different activities, and another favorite one of mine is where you structure priorities in your life amongst these, well, it's 9 to 11 sectors in your life, and you look at where you're at now, and it can actually shift the dynamics in that, which is super impactful. People in all areas, love, family, career, in a way that no other class in theta healing approaches it that way.
This is all about wealth consciousness, right?
No, this is about Game of Life.
Okay.
No. So wealth consciousness was like, that's another beneficial one, but like all the rest of that detail is what sets Game of Life aside, or like why I like it.
还有另外一门叫做财富意识的课，也就是希塔当中关于丰盛显化的另外一门课哈，也很棒。那么关于生活赢家这门课呢，因为这门课的结构以及这门课里面的这些练习，它会把你人生当中的重要的事情排在前面，会提供这样的一种结构，有大概9到11个不同的部分，会看到你现在在哪里，然后呢会帮你转变你的整一个，不仅是关于爱情啊、家庭啊、事业啊，还有很多很多的方面。
Yeah. And I could share a moment, like I could tell you, manifesting the wealth consciousness is really about the history of money, like how money came to be, and how to apply those different skills in your life now.
那么我们也补充一下，财富意识呢，它更多的是关于钱是怎么样的一个历史，钱是怎么来的，以及怎么样使用我们现在已有的这些技巧去提升生活。
Game of Life also helps us really come. Diana's always saying, "Are you ready to play? Are you ready to play?" And so Game of Life really helps you kind of get into that spirit of, joy and play, and that's where creation really thrives.
生活赢家，它这个名字 Game of Life 也是游戏的意思哈。那么维安娜她经常会说：“你准备好玩耍了吗？你准备好玩耍了吗？”生活赢家这门课呢，也是把我们带到这样的一种精神当中来。
And it really helps those of us, because I was probably sometimes a little too serious, or some of the older souls, they get more into that. Like it doesn't have to be so serious. Make it, everything is really playful, joyful, blissful, fun, while we're doing what we're here to do.
这也非常的帮助了我，因为呢，我之前可能还是会有一些比较严肃，其实很多的老灵魂都有这样子会觉得比较严肃要过来做事情但是呢，在生活赢家呢，他会把我们更好的带入一种玩耍，然后很喜悦的这样的状态，与此同时呢，来做我们该做的事情。
Any questions on Game of Life?
目前为止，大家有没有关于生活赢家这门课的问题？
We're good. Okay. So June 17th, 18th, and 19th, I'll be teaching that in Bigfork, Montana, in case anyone's interested, or if you have any friends that might be. The next one we're going to, go ahead.
6月的17、18、19号呢，在蒙大拿会教这门课。说你有兴趣或者你知道 有谁有兴趣的。
Okay, next one we're going to talk about is You and Earth.
好，下一门我们要讲的是地球与我这门课。
You and Earth is an essential class for really all creation, but it's one of really the 5 main relationship building classes that Theta Healing offers.
地球与我这门课呢，是对于所有的生灵都非常非常重要的这样一门课。那么它也是在希塔疗愈当中关于关系的课程5门课当中之一。
So You and the Earth is Growing Your Relationships course number 4. Oh, yeah.
关系课程的第4门。
And so basically it kind of gives people the foundational understandings of our wholeness within the oneness of all creation. And it gives individuals insights in how to be positive influence in the areas or regions in which you live in every day, but also for like creators' guidance as these world shifts and changes are taking place with weather extremes and in times of, difficulties in areas or regions as the earth makes its changes.
地球与我这门课呢，给了我们非常基本的理解，来理解所有的创造这之中的一种完整性，以及呢，给到我们自己如何在我们所住的地区成为一种正面的影响，在你每天的生活当中。还有呢，是关于源头给我们的指引，在这些转变极端的天气的区域发生的这些事情当中，我们可以做什么？
And so really it teaches us how to better come in union with the earth itself as important in the optimal function of your health and well-being and vitality in the physical body vessel.
会教我们如何跟地球很好的做连结合一，也为了我们的健康，我们的好的生活，我们的更强健、更健康的生活。
But also it teaches us how to harmoniously align ourselves and our awarenesses with, our own heartbeat, the heartbeat of the earth, as well as the cosmic heartbeat. Like to be in full union where you have awareness. Now, many of us, I already had awareness of it before I took the class, but in teaching the class, since it came out, it helped a lot of people gain clarity in they were actually picking up on some of the earth changes versus actually feeling like, oh, I have something's going on in my head or something that's going on in my stomach. No. That's the earth communicating to you, asking you to do your part to help because of the earthquakes, to help because of the volcanoes, to help because of the hurricanes or typhoons, etc.
这门课也会教我们关于这个和谐，我们自己的心跳跟地球的心跳，还有跟整个宇宙的心跳，都达到一种统一合一的状态。在这门课之前呢，我已经有这样的意识了。那我发现在教这门课之后呢，也帮助更多人有这样子的一种很深的觉知，可以觉察到地球的变化。那么你就会知道，这有时候感觉不对，不是我自己的头脑，也不是我自己的面，而是地球在告诉我，请我去帮忙去做一些事情。可能呢是发生了一些地震台风等等，我们需要来做一些。
Some of the skill sets that like a DNA 3 would offer, it kind of introduces a few of the different topics a little bit sooner, because not everybody, some people will take this You and Earth class before they would ever get through intuitive anatomy or disease and disorders and, to maybe world relations to then get into DNA 3 work. And so that's another benefit.
这门课呢也提供了一些在 DNA 3当中的，因为有些人可能会先学这门课，然后呢才去学比如说 IA 疾病学世界关系然后可能才学 DNA 3。
And so it also helps really strengthen our ability to remote view and to physically travel to locations, see, feel, know what's going on, and then also be able to influence those areas where, bomb explosions occur or, earthquake just happened or, whatever dynamic. And so in those moments you get called and there's a specific new approach to how we do the prayer work that we kind of introduce in this You and Earth.
在这门课当中，我们也会学习如何去做摇式，以及如何穿越旅行到一个不同的地方，去那个地方看到、感知到、知道发生了什么事情，并且有办法去影响，说是一个刚有炸弹发生爆炸的动乱的地方，或者刚经历了地震这样的地方，你会被应召到去做这些事情，使用这门课当中学到的一个新的技巧，新的去祈求这样的一个方法。
So DNA 3, as well as You and Earth, are courses that, you know, she doesn't necessarily come out and say it, but theta healing is really preparing us all to serve our roles in divine timing in key moments for the earth and for the collective whole. And so, you know, we have over like 3 million practitioners, maybe more now. I'm not sure exactly, but I'd like to believe that Creator has enough of us in each region so that when things are happening and we catch earsight of it, once we've had these trainings, that we're all doing our role to kind of help these dynamics for the greater good of all.
那么 DNA 3和地球与我这2门课呢，虽然维安娜没有明确的说出来，但是其实这2门课呢是在把我们都准备好来帮助协助整个世界的神圣时机，来帮助整个地球上的集体。现在可能有300万疗愈师，300万的希塔疗愈师，或者可能更多，相信在每一个地区都有疗愈师，通过了这些训练之后呢，在有事情发生的时候可以去做好我们该做的事情。
So also, I'm not sure if you're in the theta healing groups. There's some of the different theta healing groups on Facebook where people will put out, like, Turkey had all those earthquakes, or Croatia had their earthquakes, or those different dynamics where there's enough theta healers see these and then they do it, or they specifically are asking. There's different ways that, you know, the prayers that we, you know, that love gets sent, but at the same time, then there's dynamics that once you have You and Earth, that you could do it in a whole nother, like, deeper, assistive manner, along with, of course, the other You and Earth practitioners of the theta healing world. That is definitely a benefit.
好，那么在脸书上面呢，有一些希塔疗愈的群，他们呢经文，比如说土耳其地震了，或者其他地方地震了，大家一起去送出祈祷。地球与我这门课呢，给一个非常深的这样一套体系和方法，那么你可以跟其他的地球与我的疗愈师一起去真正的做出很大的帮忙，那这个绝对是一个这门课非常大的好处。
Any questions?
大家有问题吗？
Then Montana, are you hosting classes anywhere else, like nearer New York?
No, but I am open to travel. I do teach a lot of things online now. And prior to COVID, my husband and I traveled all over the world teaching theta healing, where we would be only home at our house like 5 weeks out of the year. We would be all over the place and out of the country and all over the United States. So I'm definitely open to that. But in Montana, this class I'm teaching on, June? It's like the day right before she teaches You and Earth instructors. The 2 days, let me look. Sorry.
20th and 21st, and then
The 20th, thank you, yes. The 20th and 21st. And then she's doing instructors the next 2 days. The 22nd and the 23rd is when she's teaching You and Earth instructors in Bigfork, Montana as well.
好，同学问，请问除了蒙大拿以外，你还会在其他的地区教课吗？老师说呢，在 COVID 之前，他基本上只有5个星期会待在家，其他时候呢都是在世界各地，然后美国的各个地方教课。那这一次的地球与我呢，是正好在维安娜教地球与我导师班之前，导师班是6月的22号、23号就在蒙大拿，那这个课呢也是在蒙大拿，是前面的2天，20和21号。
Any other questions about You and Earth? Okay.
关于地球与我，大家还有没有其他的问题？
All right, now we're going to talk about planes of existence. 7 planes of existence.
接下来我们来讨论7界。
All right, this is a very exciting class to teach because it's a kind of a culmination of, like, one of the classes that everybody kind of can't wait to get to be able to take and that kind of an energy. And it's only because you've gone through so much work that you're even capable of doing a lot of the activities that we do in this class.
这门课呢是非常让人兴奋的一门课，来教它哈，因为呢它是很多的融合。其实很多人呢都是等不及的想要去学习器械这门课，因为你已经之前经历过这么多的训练了。
And so not everybody's like me. Like when I learned basic healing, I learned from the white book. Okay. It was called Go Up and Seek God. It was like a white book. And when Advanced first came out and I first started teaching it, there was no book. Like it was a spiral notebook with like 4 sheets of paper that we would give to the practitioners. So right out of my own basic class, I was doing some of the stuff that we learn in some of these other levels just naturally, because it was innate within me, and because I was curious and because I could see all of it. It was, it was fun, and you don't want to get too caught up in the brain candy, but there's a lot going on in each of the planes of existence. Yeah, let's say that first.
并不是大家所有人呢都像Stacy 老师这样，当时学基础 DNA 的时候呢没有书的，就是一个白皮书，而且那个是叫做上去见上帝哈，还是希塔疗愈最早的时候。到了学这个进阶 DNA 的时候呢也没有书，就是4张纸。那所以当时呢这些很基础的课就很自然的涉及到了一些后面更深层的内容，那也是因为比较好奇，他也是全部都能够看到的这样类型的人。那么我们不需要进入去太多的这个头脑糖果当中，但是呢我们来了解器械这门课。
So by the time we get to planes of existence, many people have pretty much like overcome mastery in terms of transcending the mind and really eliminating negative impacting belief work, so that they're ready for planes of existence, which is mostly about overcoming vices and then practicing virtues. So this whole class really is setting you up to day focusing and practicing virtues and working with specific laws that are important for you to be harmonious with in order to fulfill and align with your divine timings.
那么跟老师同一批的人呢，很多在器械这门课出来之后，其实呢已经完全经历了这样的一个阶段，已经有大师这样子的品德了，也就是说呢已经越过了那些最初的负面的那些障碍，非常准备好来接触器械这个内容。器械呢这门课它就是要帮助我们去克服和跨越那些负面的沉重的，然后呢真正的去练习美德，在你的每天的生活当中去练习美德，以及去跟法则合作。
Another thing that is exciting for people when they take this class is really looking at what capacities in terms of like telekinesis and what are the vices that they need to have overcome and what are the virtues that they need to fully embody, acquire, and live in order to really be able to do these things and be like in a whole nother level.
还有一件非常让人兴奋的事情呢，是器械这门课会让我们来通过，然后要学习哪些美德，来崭新的看待一些能力，比如说心灵感应去移动物体这样的能力，真正的能够去做到这些事情，这会展开完全的崭新的一个篇章。
And it kind of takes things from some of the other different classes that were briefly introduced and then kind of put them more thoroughly, like this is, to be your norm kind of a dynamic. Like it's not just a once and you do a class and then it's done. It's like this can be part of your day-to-day. An example would be like how to repair genetic defects. While we introduce it in disease and disorders, it kind of really reviews what we do with it and when we're in planes of existence.
那么有一些我们其他的课短暂的提到过的一些知识点，都在这门课里面器械里面呢会变成一种常规，不仅仅是短暂的提一下做了一下，而是呢真正的在每天的生活当中把它当做一个家常便饭的事情， 其中一个很好的例子呢，就是怎么样去修复基因。这个呢，在疾病学当中有很好的讲，但是在七界当中呢，会把它带到更深的一个层次。
And it also does a lot with like the sacred languages and, acquiring the different names, the 4 names that we have for each plane of existence and different things like that.
还有呢，包括神圣语言啊，很多的神圣的名字啊，比如说呢，在每一届我们都有4个神圣名字。
And so any questions on planes of existence? There's a lot involved, but at the same time, it's like you're hearing it again, but able to take it at a depth that even though it may have, some of the different activities may have been introduced at different times, you're now actually fully ready based on your dedication to the work for the greater good of the whole. And then it's about practicing virtue.
七界里面呢有非常多的内容，大家有没有什么问题呢？其实这里面的很多的内容呢，在其他地方可能感觉已经听过了，但是在七界里面会以更深的一个层次来学习，因为你现在呢是完完全全准备好了的。当然取决于你对于大家的这种奉献啊，以及呢去练习美德。
And then another benefit of this class is it's also a prerequisite for planes 2, which is an amazing class.
那当然这门课的还有一个好处呢，就是它是七界2的前提课，七界2呢也是非常的有趣。
Yes. And so this class I'll be teaching also in Bigfork, the 20th of June through the 25th of June. It'll be evenings. That way, if anybody's taking instructors classes with Mayanna, then they're free to do that as well.
20 to 24th?
The 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th.
那这门课呢，也是在 Bigfork, Montana， 也就是疗愈中心的同样的那个城市，是6月的20号到24号，这些呢是晚上的课程。所以如果说你知道谁已经要去学习维安娜的导师班的，在晚上的时候正好是可以学这个课的。
Okay. And the next one we're going to talk about is family ties. It's one of my favorite classes ever taken in theta healing. It makes, yeah, go ahead.
是这个家族纽带，这是老师在希塔疗愈当中最喜欢的一门课之一。
Why it was such a big class for me is I come from a big family. And of course, family is super important to me. I had 5 generations on both sides that I knew at one point. But I always knew that as a child that I would move away from my family. Everybody's in Chicago and I'm out here. And I have no plans of going back. Even since my husband died 2 years ago, February of 2021. And so I was like, are you going to go back to Chicago? And I'm like, no, never. I mean, to visit. But I love the land and the energy of Montana.
其中一个老师如此喜欢家族纽带这门课的原因呢，就是他自己来自于非常大的家庭，家族家庭当然也是非常的重要。曾经有一度呢，他的爸爸妈妈这边呢，他都认识5代的人。他从小的时候呢，就知道他会搬家，他会搬离这个区域的，而且会再也不回去。现在呢，他就从芝加哥搬到了蒙大拿，也没有计划要回去。即使2年前她的丈夫去世了，家人们问他说：“那你要不要搬回芝加哥？”他说：“不，我不回去，我非常的热爱蒙大拿这片土地。”
And so Family Ties also offers several different types of session, like ways that you could begin a session with the clients. Like I would say probably 5 different approaches than what any other class in theta healing has offered when it comes to specific. It could be areas of trauma. It could be areas of relationship dynamics. And then of course, clients, depending on where they're at in the world, there's certain cultures that are more like family dynamic is really ingrained in than others. And so it's really helped with those situations as well by taking them and having them do some of these little activities with you or in preparation for your sessions that really allow them to make the biggest growth.
家族纽带这门课呢，它会提供一些不同种类的个案类型就是做个案的这个 session 的类型，大概呢有5种，是在其他的希塔疗愈课当中没有提供的。可能呢是关于处理关系，还有取决于您的客户他们的文化，家族是不是一种非常深深的烙印在文化当中。 那么你可以带着你的个案去做这些独特的练习，这些活动。你也可以呢用这些方法来帮助你的个案准备好来做一个非常巨大的变化和成长。
It also has some really powerful, like like one of the very first activities is really recognizing how they receive love and where they're at and what degree they're receiving it at. And so like once people learn that, it's like, okay, they're more like right off the bat, if they can't receive love when you're first downloading it in a session, because that's the first thing we do, then that's where you got to work. I mean, the mentality of a theta session is we have 30 minutes to get this person in their pure connection to the seventh plane, right? Through our witness and space holding. And so this class offers amazing tools to assist that process.
这门课还有一个非常强大的地方在于，是关于如何去接受爱的，以及接受爱能够接受多少的程度。这样的话呢，就会在一个session 刚开始的时候，你就会知道这个人他能够接受多少的爱。比如说我们刚开始个案的时候，就会给对方去下载源头的爱。关于做一个 session 做一个个案的一个态度呢，其实是在30分钟之内，就通过我们来维持住场域呢，来帮助对方完完全全的全然的连上源头，在30分钟之内。
We also look at different types of entrustments, type of inheritances, and what's the other one? It's called various communications and crutches. What crutches are in the DNA based on your genetic programming?
Could you explain the word they used for the last part in the DNA?
Crutches.
Crutches.
Yeah, crutches. Like the crutches are like excuses. And what areas those excuses find that also get passed through the DNA.
Crutches 是那种好像拐杖这样，你就会一直依赖着它这样的。
谢谢。这门课里面呢也会提到不同种类的在家族当中的沟通的方式，还有呢在文化当中的这些拐杖或者说口这些都会通过 DNA 流传下去。
And so there's also one of my other favorite activities in this class is called the family tree work. And I really did that. I really did take it home because I had the information. It's also actually, this class is also really good for individuals or students that have been adopted, because not only do they have, it kind of helps them approach how to get into their genetic, like the birth parents, but then also by those that they end up living with, or who they, maybe they were fostered by, and then who then would have adopted them or whatever. They also have those DNA lines. They have several sets that they have to deal with, because by absorption and a projection and inheritance kind of in a whole nother dynamic, this class kind of gives different approaches versus some of the others in a way that allows thoroughness to kind of really look at some of these things that may be limitations that would need to be overcome, which is very powerful. And so I'm sure everybody, just people in general, knowing that and learning that in this class, because we also share that information in Family Ties, helps people, because everybody at some point as a practitioner is going to work with someone that's been adopted or etc., put through foster systems, that kind of thing.
这门课里面还有一个非常强大和好玩的呢，是族谱。我确实把这个练习带回去，然后去做了这个家族的族谱这个练习。那这门课还有一个非常好的地方，是针对那些人，帮助他们来找到他们的遗传的这些历史哈。不仅是他们的生父、生母，还有呢他们的养父母，他们会接触到多个的 DNA 的这个线，通过呢接受一些投射，所以在养父母那边的 DNA 呢，他们也是有接受到的。那么在这些不同的状况之下呢，这门课的方法就提供了这种完整性，来看到这个人他还有哪一些限制是他需要去克服和突破的。所以呢，这是非常的强大的。那我们作为疗愈师呢，多多少少都有可能会遇到这样子是被收养的人。
And then when you're in this class, also Family Ties, just like we release obligations. We also, at certain times, if something feels sticky, then you release family ties, and sometimes, there's heart ties, soul ties, spirit ties, ego ties within the family ties. So it's interesting. You learn, the more you learn in each class and each level, and you are like, Creator, what is that? And then Creator will say, oh, it's a family tie, or it's, like whatever you're learning these things, you may have already learned about them, but at the same time, but once you kind of go through the course and recognize the energy of these different things, and it makes it very apparent when you're out doing your work as a practitioner and or on yourself.
在家族中呢，我们也会去释放那些责任义务，或者有时候你意识到有些人，他们就是有一些粘稠粘滞，没有办法去释放。其实呢，它是有这个家族的纽带连接在那里。同样的方法呢，也可以针对有的时候有的人有灵魂上的这样一种牵扯纽带，或者是小我的牵扯或者纽带。在你继续的学习希塔疗愈的时候，你会发现每一门课呢都提供了它的每一个，所以在之后你去做个案的时候，你会问源头说，源头这是什么？源头说，哦，这个是一个家族的纽带。通过辨识这些以及在能量上面能够辨认出来呢，就会在让你做个案或者说给自己做这个工作的时候感觉到这是非常显然的。
Family Ties is also the first class where we teach about the integration of the higher self, and it's also the first class that did, aside from manifesting abundance, that teaches the formal way of the pyramid manifesting as the culminating activity at the end of this course.
纽带这门课呢是第一门教你怎么样去跟高我做整合的这样一门课，它也是在除了丰盛显化之外呢，第一门教你怎么样用金字塔的显化方法。
Any questions about Family Ties?
大家对这门课有什么问题吗？
Any questions about, I am teaching this one live because this is also the 24th and 25th of June in Montana, Bigfork, Montana. This will be a daytime class because the last day of planes is in the evening that day. And this one's 9 to 4.
这门课呢也是6月份在 Bigfork， 这是白天的课，6月的24号、25号。
Open up for any question.
现在我们就敞开任何的问题。
Hi, Stacy. I have a question. Nice to meet you. So when you mentioned that a class it will be taking place is in Vienna's meeting room, is that what I heard is right?
No. Which class?
I'm
I mean,
sorry,
like,
it was a bit of translation. I said Bigfork, the same city as Vienna's center.
Oh, okay.
是同样一个城市，就是希塔疗愈中心同一个城市。
Okay.
No, it's in the state. I live in Kalispell. Vienna's like 20, they live like 28 minutes. Bigfork. I've also rented space in a house I'm in a lady's living room that's right there in Bigfork. Because a lot of times when I teach the classes, people will come over for the ones that are taking classes with Vienna, and they come and take night classes.
Is that you and the earth is doing outdoor or indoor? Because I saw some of people they do you and the earth is outdoor, like connect to the nature or earth.
There are a few activities where you do go outside and connect to the nature. Weather pending, but yes.
Okay.
Yes, we'll go outside, and there are some of the activities where you do go sit on the earth and, walk around and do that stuff. Yeah.
好，那么是呢住在离维也纳的那个中心大概20分钟车程的地方，在 Kalispell。那么很多时候呢，老师是租借了另外一个场地，在 Bigfork 这个地方教这些实体的课程的。然后同学问说，地球与我这门课是在室内上的还是室外上的？老师说呢，有一些练习确实是要去室外的，取决于天气，是可能会去室外。
It's also easy for me to go pick up people and then bring them to the house if they don't have transportation or there isn't a carpool already coming to class.
那么有些时候呢，因为就是教课的这个地方也在 Bigfork， 离希塔疗愈中心不远，所以有的人他们从维也纳那儿下了课之后呢，就过来上这个疗愈师课程，也方便 Stacy 老师去就是接他们，就过来一起上课这样子。
Good. Any other questions?
Some of the audience already took some of the classes.
Oh, good. Good. Nothing? No questions? Well, then I should do a healing on everyone.
那我们就来疗愈大家吧。
We good with that? Okay. So close your eyes.
闭上眼睛。
And you can connect in if you want to, but otherwise just when I'm just setting my space and I'm going to ask permission when I'm ready to come into yours.
你也可以自己连上气，或者呢，老师会把能量场设置好，准备好的时候会来问大家要允许。
All right. Do I have permission to come into your spaces?
有大家的允许接入到你的能量场吗？
All right, here I come.
好，我来了。
And so we're going to send creators unconditional love in every cell, quark, atom, mitochondria, molecule, and tachyon of all that we are to the edges of your auric field and beyond.
我们把来自源头的无条件的爱发送到你的每一个细胞、你的线粒体、你的每一个分子、原子、粒子，以及呢也发送到你的能量场。
And so we're going to invite that pure isness truth, energy of creation, Holy Spirit to make whatever additional changes for each of you that would be necessary to receive more divine light, love, truth, and grace each moment of now.
我们也把来自于神圣的指引以及所有的你所需要的那些通道为你打开，来帮助你接受到更多的源头最高真相的爱。
Then we're going to open and expand the psychic and intuitive abilities, welcome in that pure prophetic channel self, and more embodiment of the ascended master self now.
现在我们也来打开最纯净的管道自我，以及打开更多的已经觉醒的扬升大师自我。
And then we're going to also ask for amplification of their auric fields to radiate like 10 times, 100 times, 1,000-fold of like just sharing from their overflow in the areas in which they find themselves.
现在我们也来增强气场、能量场，放大10倍、100倍、1000倍。
And that everyone knows how to see and accept themselves as healed, whole, healthy, complete, and well now, and be able to do that with all their clients and students henceforth.
刚才做的那个也是打开了精神力和灵通能力哈。然后呢，接下来我们来做给每个人健康完好，并且知道如何给你的个案和学生做一样的事情。
Thank you.
谢谢大家。
Nice. Thank you.
Do you feel like
Thank you so much.
What was that?
Do you feel like doing any downloads for whoever online and maybe for whoever watching the recording later?
Yes. So let's go. Everybody that was actually, hold on. Everybody that hears this, let me just go back up. Everybody that hears this can also receive and accept those downloads as it applies to them in the moment of now when they hear this. And that's infinitely, because it comes from the eternal space of creators, isness, truth, and will.
好，那么我们就
And
回
they
去
just need to accept with a yes.
好，所有直播的和看回放的人都能够接收到，因为呢，这就是来自于源头无限的，只需要呢 yes 说同意来接受。
Yes. It's good. Fun. Yay.